When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed.
Great. I like those.
That simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the door.
Room.
Duh. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room.
So like having like a little
thing. Something pull it through.
Yeah.
Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations.
Yep. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was like.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed.
Oh?
In other words,
basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch, and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
however,
We're learning.
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have to have any gap that would allow it.
What about
Maybe
a
she was
hidden wall?
poisoned.
Yeah, I think we could probably cross that one off the list.
true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it opens up.
What do you mean by that?
In other words,
They stay hidden, and when the door is open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up alone with everyone else, and that's that.
That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe?
I don't know. And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all.
Oh no, not a locked room.
By that, I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. Ooh. You see, this is in a lot of novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible.
Alright, great, so let's cross that off the list. Then you think we could... Okay, great, Makoto agrees with me.
I believe you, yes.
I believe you.
Yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics.
Great, thanks for the tutorial. So there are 4 possibilities. Then Kyoko, which one of those 4 seems the most likely?
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during the trial.
Great.
But right now, I can't really say.
Okay, I see. The way the killer set up the locked room, until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate for Sakura. Alright, let us look at this letter. This is not a letter, this is a rag. It's a wrapper.
huh?
That's,
Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well,
well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her.
Is it candy? I want candy.
That's a candy wrapper.
It's candy.
Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right?
So I gave her candy.
So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little.
So you gave that candy to Sakura.
I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them.
How do you know she would like them?
Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. Uh-oh, check it out. I made sure nobody else would get their hands on them.
Why'd you fucking... Okay, you really like them that much?
I mean,
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her.
Well, maybe if you weren't hoarding them for fucking 3
but
weeks.
now they're lost. Now they've lost all their flavor.
Okay, great. Hina. Okay, so polka dot candy wrapper. What else we got? Okay, so, what is this over here? There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle. So this must have originally been a bottle.
Duh.
This looks like a bottle. I think it's a bottle. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. Ooh, it's a figure.
Huh?
It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure.
Figure.
All right. What else we got? Gotta examine these magazines. The same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. And there's also blood by the magazine rack.
Right.
There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? All right. What else we got? Gotta examine these bottles over here. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. I wonder what that means. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure.
So that was that bottle.
How'd they get those figures inside the bottle?
They blew glass around that.
so
Yeah, that's true.
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle.
Huh?
You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You've never seen that?
Well, they don't do... They like, put it in, like, individually, piece by piece. Oh, yeah,
No,
maybe
they
I
don't.
have.
in other words,
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will.
Great. I don't want it. I'm just gonna break them all. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. The Monokuma... Okay, yeah, so now he's connecting shit like a fucking normal person. Okay. The red shards of glass, which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with the Monokuma bottle. The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right. She's too big to be dead from a bottle.
And what about all this stuff over here?
Yeah, what's that?
There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty.
She does love that protein.
Sakura must have drank it.
Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. That's
oh,
me.
that's you. Okay.
And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments, like cancer.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you.
I know. But still, this protein can, it's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange.
Huh? What is?
You see what's scattered around the can?
Shards of light blue glass. They must be part of the window I broke to get inside.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it.
What does that mean? Why does that matter?
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it.
Alright, thanks. I'll keep it in my bullets.
I feel like it'll become an important clue later on.
An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. It should be obvious, dude. Do you understand why it's important?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door has a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which I did, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. That means I'm the killer. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Okay, what else we got?
So, someone walked in with them, and then threw the bottle down. Maybe.
Probably. What does this chair have to say? The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. There's no reason to think the chair had done anything. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. Oh my god, are you fucking 5? Yes, that kept the knob from turning and from opening. There was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with, so the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not the outside. Alright. What else we got? I guess I should... Whoops! Don't need to be there yet. What about... Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in the chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that that's what killed her, but according to the Monokuma file, she also vomited blood. Ooh, there it is. That's on her lips. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries.
Poison.
Probably. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? That doesn't sound right. Not a chance. Byakuya!
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. My dick. Interesting. Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. Wow, this really works out of a context. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died? Yes. Now let's look at a locker. Huh? The locker's open, and there on the inside... Oh, it's a handprint!
Oh, someone was in there. What's a handprint doing here?
It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker, and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh, too.
Yeah, with all that cocaine.
I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra.
Yeah, cocaine. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locker room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility.
Huh? Why not?
Hey.
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right?
Oh, it's already opened. Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that
right.
point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door.
Someone just... They opened the door and someone just immediately hid in there.
Really?
Yes, so then, what does this handprint mean? Okay. Yeah, look, it's got fucking cocaine there. There's cocaine dust. Okay, so yeah. Okay, yeah, we talked this. I just wanted to see the cocaine. That means Hero was there. Okay, so, can I leave or not yet? Need to examine. Okay, so let's talk to Kyoko, I guess.
However...
But for Sakura, whatever.
Sakura had been killed. Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her?
No.
I wonder, did someone get the upper hand?
they must have taken her by surprise, right? With a fucking uppercut to the jaw.
Certainly. They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
Okay,